Hi, I'm Christina Morgan. Welcome back to the West in Narrative History, Chapter 4, the Hellenic Era. This is Part 2. In Part 1, we talked about the effects of the Persian War and how it led to Athenian supremacy in the Greek city state region. They formed the Delian League and how that led to them having an empire. Today, we're going to talk about the Peloponnesian Wars and the impact this has on that region. The Spartans countered the Delian League. Remember, they had been isolated. They had gone back into their policy of isolationism, but they countered the Delian League with an alliance of their own. Athens built long walls to its port on the sea, and the two alliance systems just kind of sniped back and forth at each other for several decades. The self confidence, the fear of losing international prestige, and risky decision making maneuver them into war. So basically, just this sort of back and forth just escalates until the inevitable conflict turns into a war. Um, there's a big loss of naval ships in Egypt, creates kind of a cautious course, and eventually there's a peace brokered. So the Athenians lose a bunch of ships, so they broker kind of a peace. Um, Pericles suggests relocating people behind the walls of the long walls and waiting out an expected Spartan land invasion. Sparta had the best army, so he just figures we can just wait them out because eventually they'll give up. Athens' strength was its navy, and Sparta's strength was its army, so it made sense. If Sparta's going to invade us on land, we're not going to be successful, so let's just wait them out. So, because their strengths were opposite, the war is protracted and brutal. This is a map of some major battles. And this Aspasia is a rare portrait of a woman, or a bust of a woman. So there's a few phases of the war. Pericles' strategy may have been sensible, but there was overcrowding and poor sanitary conditions in Athens. So 1/3 of the populations of Athens is lost to a plague in the second year of the war. So while this strategy may be a good one, it results in a great loss of life. And the casualties include Pericles himself. The democracy turns increasingly to what we call demagogues, or people, that men that are elected or chosen by mobs of people who are kind of rule, not quite like dictators, but rule by the force of their will. And they promise easy solutions to the conflict and just fan the flames of self-righteous patriotism or jingoistic patriotism. It's just, it's all talk but no action is really what's going to happen. And the war just kind of goes on and on and on until a peace treaty in 421 BCE. Supposedly that's supposed to last 50 years. But it's a de facto defeat for Sparta because they did not, they had the best army and they should have won. There's a short period of uneasy peace. There's a young, rich, handsome, intelligent man, totally unprincipled, called Alcibiades. He whips up this Athenian enthusiasm to invade the Greek city on Sicily. Now, there was not a great idea about doing this until he just stirs everybody up about it. Tens of thousands of men are lost in this totally disastrous expedition. And Athens' elite blame the mob's enthusiasm for wanting a quick and easy victory. So this is a total, complete debacle. No, it does not work out at all. So the war begins again, and the oligarchs, or those who favor rule by a few people, launch short-lived revolts trying to win control, and incompetent admirals continue to bungle the job. So we've got incompetence on every level. Then in the final phases of the war, Athens is finally starved into submission because Sparta gets a navy, a newly resurgent navy. Some states demand that Athens be completely destroyed, but the Spartans just tear down the long walls and limit the size of Athens' fleet. So they show mercy to their enemy in this time. Despite its victory, Sparta can't really capitalize much on its success, and it would appear that the whole 5th century is basically collapse, waste, and mistakes. But is that really the case? we'll see in the next section on intellectual and artistic life.